Hey everyone, in this video I will be discussing my experience throughout this course and showing my work I've completed while taking this class. My name is Chiney and this is my Digital Sculpting 1 course reflection. Let's get started. Throughout this course I have learned how to digitally sculpt models in ZBrush. Week 1 was all about learning the basic fundamentals of ZBrush like file management, UI navigation, keyboard shortcuts, essential tools, and workflow. During this week, I got familiar with using ZBrush and sculpting simple shapes. Our first assignment in week 1, we had to create a simple sculpt with ZBrush to get familiar with the program. I chose to sculpt a simple head, which was fun for me because I got to play around with ZBrush and get a feel for it, which was very helpful to do since it was my first time working with ZBrush and all. Our second assignment in week 1, we had to sculpt our first character blockout, which was also fun because it helped me become more familiar with the program and more confident in sculpting simple shapes using ZBrush. Week 2, we had to take all we've learned from the previous lessons and create our second character blockout in ZBrush. This week we had to concentrate on primary forms, proportion, and silhouettes without jumping into details because if you rush into the high frequency details, the end result model will be weak and the final product suffers. This assignment I chose to do this beautiful female modern character. Everything turned out how I wanted it to except for the hair. Had some issues with that, but other than that it turned out pretty good. Week 3 we had to apply the technique and workflow learned in previous lesson to sculpt our third character block out. This week we concentrated on primary and secondary forms. This assignment I chose to do another female modern character. Again, everything turned out well except for the hair. For the final week, we had to use all the knowledge we've learned throughout the entire course and make our fourth and final character blockout. This week, we completed ZBrush character sculpting going through all the different stages, primary forms, secondary forms, and tertiary details. For the final week, I wanted to switch things up, so I chose a male character, which was surprisingly easy to do. This particular was the best by far that I've created, and I really felt proud about the end results. So, these are all of my work I've completed throughout this course, and I have to say that to me they turned out pretty good for a first timer. Sculpting characters in ZBrush was surprisingly pretty easy for me and very fun to do. The only challenging part for me though was sculpting the hair. I couldn't quite get it right in how I wanted it to be, but I wasn't too bummed about it, knowing that sculpting hair takes a lot of practice, skill, and time to master. It was very interesting to learn that hair sculpting is a career unto itself where you have people who do just that for a living. Me, I wouldn't want to do just that, but I would love to learn the skill. My favorite sculpt to work on throughout this course was my week 4 blockout, mainly because I felt like it turned out pretty awesome to try a male character blockout. Because of the fact that this was my first time, I chose characters I thought that was easy for me to do, and the last 2 characters was girls, so I wanted to try out a man model. He seemed easy and looked pretty interesting to do, so I chose this guy, which was a great choice because the end result turned out amazing. By taking this course, I've got a basic understanding of digital sculpting in ZBrush. The information I have learned from this course will help me in the future because having a strong understanding of the basics first will better help me in my future class. So, overall, I had a blast taking this course and learning about ZBrush. It is such an amazing program. Thank you, Mr. Hall, for all the knowledge you have taught me throughout this course, and thank you, Los Angeles Film School, for this great opportunity. Looking forward to what's to come. This is the end of my Digital Sculpting 1 course reflection. Thanks for watching.